Let's do the same thing for router B and router C. I'm going to exit out of SSH here. First, we're going to do a copy run start to save that configuration file. And we're going to go issue those 3 same commands on the rest of our routers. So let's open up another PuTTY session. We're going to SSH now to router B at 10.10.0.1. If we do show clock, right now it's set to 12:32 a.m. on January 1st, 2000. It's definitely not that time. So we'll go to config T. We're going to say again, clock time zone. CST, Central Standard Time, is -6. Clock summertime. Central Daylight Time, and then recurring. And that will set it to automatically adjust during the standard United States times. Last, we're going to set our NTP server, and we're going to set that to this IP address again here. So we'll copy that and then paste it in here. Oops, we need NTP server and then the IP address. There we go. Now if we do show NTP status, we should see if it sent out a request, and it looks like it did synchronize. Once again, it's at Stratum 2, same IP address. We're using the same IP address on both devices. If we do show clock, now we see that it is set now to 11 o'clock, 59 minutes, 27 seconds on Sunday, October 16th. All right, let's keep moving along. This is one of the rare times you actually get to see exactly when I'm recording this video. Usually I turn that clock off in the corner down here so you have no idea what time it is. Here you actually get to see when I recorded this. Great, we've got our second router configured with the correct clock. Let's do copy run start to save that configuration. And I'm going to open another PuTTY window here. And we're going to SSH into 10.20.0.1. Oh, looks like my password is misconfigured there. So let's try that one more time again. Maybe I just typed something wrong. So we'll SSH into 10.20.0.1. There we go. I must have just typed something wrong. Get into privilege mode and show clock. And here we're at a different time again. It's January 1st, 2000, which is 16 years ago. So let's set the clock correctly. So we do the same thing. We're going to lather, rinse, repeat. Clock time zone. Central Standard Time -6. Clock summertime. That is CDT recurring. And then NTP server. Let's go grab that address again from my ping message. Copy that and paste it. And now if we do a show NTP status, we should see that we are, oh, it is unsynchronized right now. We have not synchronized yet. Let's see, we'll issue that again. Still unsynchronized. Continues to be unsynchronized. Let's see, maybe this is just taking a little bit longer than normal. Let's make sure that router C can ping out to the internet. Ping 8.8.8.8. Looks like we get success there. Let's try our show NTP status. We're still unsynchronized. Let's see what our clock says. We'll do show clock. And our clock is still incorrect. As a matter of fact, it made it more incorrect. Looks like it's at some other time right now. December 31st, 1999. We'll look one more time. We're still unsynchronized. What can happen is sometimes the clock is too far off on the router and it can't get synchronized. So let's set the clock on our router directly to some time, and then the NTP try to correct it to the exact time. We're continuing to have unsynchronized here. So we'll say clock set. And the next thing, we'll just hit a question mark, and it wants the time in hours, minutes, and seconds. Well, I'm going to get it close. I'm going to say that it's 11 a.m., 55 minutes, and 0 seconds. It wants to know the day of the month. Today is the 16th of October, 2016. So we'll hit that. And let's look at our NTP status again. We're still unsynchronized there. If we do show clock, well, I'm unable to get that NTP status to synchronize. I did a brief Google search on the side here and found out that, well, this sometimes happens. And you know what the solution is? No one knows. So what I want to try to do here is some troubleshooting on the fly right here in the middle of the video. Let's go to the command prompt again, and we're going to ping time.nist.gov again, and hopefully it'll give us a different address, and it did not. So I'm going to use another utility here. We're going to learn more about this utility in the very next module, and it's nslookup. And what I'm going to nslookup is time.nist.gov and see if we can get a different IP address to pop up there, and we'll try a second IP address instead of the one that it gave us there. Oftentimes it will give us multiple addresses, and there we go. 132.63.4.103. Let's try reconfiguring our NTP server to be that value and see if that will get us to synchronize our clock. Let's do a show NTP status just before, just in case it's synchronized when we weren't looking. Still not synchronized, so let's go in to configure T. We'll do a show run and do show run, and we'll find out where that NTP command is. Those are our time zone and daylight savings time commands right up at the top. The NTP server command is down on the bottom here. It's one of the last commands. It's right here. So let's get rid of that command, and we'll add in NTP server of our new one, the new IP address that I just discovered here. We'll try that one, and then we'll do show NTP status. Still unsynchronized, although it does look like it now has synchronized the time correctly. When I issued show clock, what we see is that the time now is set correctly to the time that I expect. That is the same time that's on my computer. And remember, earlier we set that clock to be an unusual time. If I scroll up here a little bit, we can see where we set that clock. Here we said show clock, and it showed it as 11:55. Once I changed that server, it looked like it did update the clock. Let's do show NTP status again. And now it is showing as synchronized. So maybe there was some issue with the way that the connection between my router here and that time server just were not synchronizing. How would I solve these problems in the future? I don't actually know. I just poked around with it here until we found a solution. There are network time servers all over the place. In this case, I just changed the one that I'm using, and it seemed to solve the problem. Later on, we'll actually be able to use the name server time.nist.gov directly when we set our time server in our routers, and then our routers can go out to DNS and look up which address to use, and they can continuously check that as well. So now what we have is we have all of our routers set to the same time. We do show clock on each one. Let's go to the second router. Oh, second router timed out. Let's log back into that guy. So we'll go back onto router B, 10.20.0.1. We'll log in here and do a show clock. See that we are at 12:12:06. Here on router C, show clock, we're at 12:12:13. Both of those are router C, aren't they? Let me log into router B. That is at SSH 10.10.0.1. Show clock. And here at 12:12:36, we're pretty close. And let's log into router A at 10.0.0.1 and show clock. And we're 12.12.51 here. We're all within a relatively reasonable amount of time based on the amount of time it took me to log into each one. So now we have all three of our routers set to the same exact clock. This is perfect. Now when we send our syslog messages, they're going to all have the same timestamp, which is going to be very valuable to us in the long run.